Hello and welcome to Evolve Care Solutions Mind Body Wellness Technique Workshop. This is the 10 to 20 minute a day practical answer to you and your family's health and well-being. Starting off, it's about 20 minutes to learn all the techniques, and once that is learned, you can do all the techniques around 10 minutes. Some things that you'll need for these techniques is a glass of purified water, and a cotton round or a Q-tip or bathroom tissue. So in this workshop overview, these are self-care techniques. One that balances the three brains, the head, the heart, and the gut. A technique that addresses balancing the kidney meridian and resetting the stress threshold. Another technique helps balance cellular hydration. Another balances the microbiome and body chemistry. And another technique that balances the physical and energetic body network. I'll also be sharing with you a fast aid protocol that you can implement if you ever have a sprain or a minor cut or a burn to help you get out of shock and help your body move into the healing response. We want to avoid shortcuts in the sequence of these techniques. The sequence of the routine has been carefully designed to allow the technique to work together for the broadest range of conditions. It works best if you do not change the order and do not do any of these techniques in isolation other than the three brain coherence balancing that can be done by itself. The origin of these techniques is that they're inherently designed in the universe in the way that reality functions. It's also working with built-in heart coherence. We're working with the immune system, the nervous system, the endocrine system. It has its origins with sadhus in Vedic literature and yoga tapping. And that further then was developed and elaborated on with the tapping in EMDR, where she helped Vietnam veterans with PTS. And that was then further studied by HeartMath Institute. Heartmath.org is the website. You can look more information about that. And that got integrated in with things like emotional freedom technique. And then the founder of the Body Talk system, John Veltheim, integrated all of this together. Veltheim originally hails from Australia, where he practiced as a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, and served as the principal of the Brisbane College of Acupuncture and Natural Therapies. His diverse background in Eastern and Western healing modalities helped him develop the Body Talk system. A lot of these techniques are also using the function and philosophy of meridian points or nadis to restore coherence and function to the body-mind. The intention is to do this routine daily. So all 5 techniques, doing them daily for the first 2 to 3 weeks until your body-mind feels more centered and balanced, and for the intention of maintenance and prevention from disease or stress, doing the techniques 1 to 3 days a week and including the whole body centering technique at least once a week. The principles in which these techniques are based on include communication. That's that everything in the universe is in constant communication with everything else. These techniques help restore communication on the various levels of the body-mind. Body-mind defined from the subatomic to the biological to even the environmental and the planetary. The next core principle of these techniques is synchronization. This is the coordination of events to operate a system in unison, like people rowing together or an orchestra where everyone is playing the same sheet music and they're creating music. They're working together, going in the same direction. This happens on all various levels of the body-mind, from subatomic to chemistry to biochemical and the organism as a whole, even with our relationships with one another in our environments. Another core principle of these techniques is balance. Coherence is the result of communication and synchronization. And the HeartMath Institute has shown a lot how heart rate variability or coherence between the brain, the heart, and the gut influence our degree, depth, and duration of balance that we perceive and experience. Another core principle is the innate wisdom. This is the aspect of consciousness that is the source of all parts of the body working together in synchronization. It's the aspect of yourself that knows how to heal when injured. It's that which has been helping you your entire life. Amit Goswami, who wrote a beautiful book called The Quantum Doctor that I invite you to read, says that contrary to what they tell you, you are not a limited material being. And there's a lot of scientific evidence to back this up. Another major principle to these techniques has to do with downward causation. The principle of downward causation is the downward causation is a causal relationship from higher levels of a system to lower level parts of that system. And what this means is that physical disease is the last form of manifestation of dysfunction, of not having yet enough awareness for the body mind to function the way that nature intended. And on the left here, you can see how downward causation operates. This has been communicated in various different ways in nearly all of the wisdom traditions in the geographical locations on the earth, of how the higher influences the lower, but the lower doesn't necessarily influence and regulate or balance the higher. For example, you can see in the biology portion of the body mind, we're looking at cells, tissues, organs, and systems of the physical body. These modalities include massage therapy and chiropractic. So if we go see a chiropractor, it's not going to necessarily balance things on a mental level of the body, for example. Yet with Body Talk and Evolved Care Solutions, we're working with a consciousness-based healthcare system that mostly looks at the entire orientation of your life history and probabilities and possibilities, which then have an influence on frequencies and subatomic particles, which then balance the molecules, which then the cells and the tissues and the organs adhere to that change from that higher order. So it starts off in the causal body, or what's known as the bliss body. You could call it all that is, the seamless code of the universe, whatever word that you're using based on which worldview you're perceiving the world. This is the totality. And much like how a large power plant transduces awesome powers of energy to power lines and then to fuse boxes, which then go into outlets to transduce awesome powers of energy to smaller parts, so that when you plug your device into the outlet, you're not going to get blown to smithereens. There is a process of consciousness that transduces to the physical body that we experience as our senses. So from the causal body, this transduces down to the supramental body. And these terms can be further explored in Amit Goswami's book, The Quantum Doctor. From the supramental, this transduces down into the mental body, where in Vedic literature, they call it the ahamkara. From the vital body, interfacing with the nervous system translates that energy or wei qi from the environment into the physical body, nourishing the organs. One of the benefits of doing these techniques is that we are working with creation. We are working with downward causation and helping the body-mind complex on all these various levels and dimensions of ourselves. The International Body Talk Association has done studies of implementing these techniques in schools throughout the world, and the initial changes that they observed that were overt were that hyperactive children and adults calm down, aches and pains disappear, there's increased clarity and more energy. And on subtle changes, some of the things they noticed was there's better sleep, improved digestion, and chronic pain subside. Tapping, or what's called in the medical literature that you'll find in magazines like WebMD or PubMed, is vagal nerve stimulation. And the overt dramatic changes that they have observed also through HeartMath Institute is stronger immune system. There's improved coordination because the left and the right hemispheres of the brain are communicating with one another and working in whole brain coherence. This prevents other health issues from happening because the brain is able to register and fix anything that's off. There's maintained clarity and an overall sense of well-being subjectively. People are just happier when they do this and bring the body into coherence. Some of the subtle changes that they observed is improved family dynamics with friends. People are not as reactive and more conscious in their thinking and what they're speaking. And this also can lead to decreased medical bills if you're not stressed and you're preventing that distress moving into inflammation in the body, creating any type of diseases. This routine is a weekly body mind update. So please think of it as a reset. It's just like defragmenting programs on your computer or your phone. If it's saying there's not enough space, you know you have to delete some programs. Or if you're on a laptop and you run a defrag, this is taking all of these seemingly compartmentalized programs and information and reallocating them into their proper context with one another so that more space is allowed for programs to run at their optimum level. And this happens on a subatomic, a biological, and even a relationship and environmental level. During high periods of stress, it's recommended to go back to doing the techniques daily, or when there's flu season or an injury, sprained ankle, anytime if there's emotional upset or a lot of turmoil within any type of relationship, whether that's family, romantic, or work, if there's an illness, or if you have any other health challenges. The reason that we do these techniques is that if we are protecting and armoring, not only can we not heal, we can't grow and expand as people. So this routine has been designed to rebalance more specific limbic brain anatomy, like the amygdala complexes, with repeated application. And if you want to research more about this, I invite you to learn about the BIS and the BAS systems in the amygdala. The tapping or the vagal nerve stimulation is used to facilitate communication and to store the memory of the changes that are being made. When we tap the top of our head, we're focusing on the brain fixing. When we're tapping over the heart or the sternum, we're focusing on store this information. And when we tap over the intestines, we're focusing on digest.